Hiya love! Welcome to Theatre Review number 4. Yes! So today I'm going to be chatting with you about the Donmar Warehouse's production of Coriolanus. I kind of wanted to do a review of this one regardless of the fact that it wasn't being streamed for a long time, because one, I've never actually seen Coriolanus before having watched it a couple of days ago, and I thought it was a very, very interesting production. There was a lot of moments in it that I kind of wanted to discuss with you. So yeah, let's get going. So within the play, Rome is threatened, and its people call upon Coriolanus to be their hero, their defender. But he has a lot of enemies at home as well, and I think it's kind of about how he confronts them, how he confronts the city's people, and the kind of journey he goes on throughout the play. For me personally, I love watching Shakespeare. I am very fortunate in that I have had a very interesting journey with Shakespeare, with learning about the language, the text, and how it should be performed. And I found this particular production almost a little bit, I don't want to say boring, but I'm going to say it, a little bit boring, just in the direction of it. I think it was quite unimaginative. With Shakespeare productions, the most beautiful of scenes are the simplest in terms of direction. But that being said, there's finding those moments of stillness and of beauty within the text, and then there's just sort of not really putting in as much energy as you should, even if that is within the direction. It was directed by Josie Rourke, who also directed Mary Queen of Scots, the film. Yeah, it just wasn't for me. Tom Hiddleston takes on the lead role of Coriolanus. Generally, I thought he did really, really well with the part. It is a mammoth task to take on that role, and I think for me, because I didn't know the play, the first sort of 10 minutes I really struggled to understand what his sort of driving motive was as a character. But then as the play went on, I thought he did a really, really good job with it. He was very honest. He let the language kind of do its job. And I think generally that character is so complex. He goes on this journey throughout the play of lacking empathy for his people because of his relationships with his enemies, and come the end of the play, it is actually his mother that finally makes him learn the true meaning of empathy and what it is to sort of act with compassion towards others. I think that's a very important part of the play, and I do think that Tom Hiddleston dealt with that incredibly well. Really loved his performance. I would like to just mention that I did not like the performance of the mother. I thought it was very sort of melodramatic. It's very, very difficult to connect to a character of that level of importance within that play if it's not taken seriously and if it's not played with honesty. There was a moment where she was sort of crying against his arm, wailing, should I say, and it was like, whoa, oh, and then suddenly she's distracted and thinking about something else, and it was so blatantly obvious that she hadn't been crying. And then all I could think was, if you didn't have the impulse to cry, then don't pretend that you're crying, because no one's going to believe you. That's just a basic rule of acting. And this woman is probably in her 50s and she's playing this role, which is a brilliant role. And very disappointed. The mother character is so important that Coriolanus's wife is a sort of a secondary role, shall we say. And I think it was largely to do with the way it was directed, but I had no sort of real feeling towards the wife character. I thought the way it had been played, again, it's disappointing. You know, every time the wife is on stage with Coriolanus, she's either crying or she's kissing him. And I'm like, I know she doesn't have many lines, but I think just having a stance, knowing the political nature of her being, yes, she may not be able to be involved in these larger conversations between Coriolanus and, say, you know, the political chiefs. She's not going to be able to be involved in that because at the time there was no equality between men and women, really, unless you were a queen. But oh god, it was painful to watch. I don't care if the female role that the wife didn't have a lot of lines. What I want to see is a fierceness, is a belief in her husband, is a stance and opinion of her own, even if she's not saying anything. I don't want to think of this character as a weak female role. I think that's ridiculous. No. Volumnia is the name of the mother in the play, and she was played by Deborah Findlay. I've just had to briefly look at the name so I didn't forget. And the wife, Virgilia, is Birgit Sorensen. Birgit Sorensen. Again, not a big fan, but I do think that's largely because of the way it had been directed. I think her character was just sort of pushed to one side. And, you know, I guess though it was quite poignant in the sense that whenever she was there, majority of the time she'd just kiss Coriolanus. And I think there were moments of silence from the audience, and, you know, the atmosphere was very sort of honed in on them two at those moments. And that's fine if that's what you want to go for as a director and, you know, as a piece, and you want that kind of the sexuality to come across a little bit more. Fine, I get that, and I saw that, but for me personally, didn't work. I thought Menius, played by Mark Gatiss, who is the Senator of Rome, I thought he played it very, very honestly. He understood his relationship to other characters within the play very, very well. He played it very truthfully. He let the language do the work, and I do think that's largely to do with probably his experience as an actor. He was really, really fantastic, and within his journey throughout the play you had many light and dark moments. It was a very interesting watch. I wouldn't say that I loved it, but there were many aspects that I liked. I thought the fight scenes were fantastic. I also particularly liked Coriolanus' death. I thought that was very simple, but really, really well done. Generally, in terms of the staging, I don't think the Donmar's stage was quite big enough for that production. There was a lot of weight to the play and a lot of weight to the way they were playing it, and I think it needed a much bigger space. But, you know, it was in 2014, so I feel like we've learned since then. But yeah, I think I kind of wanted to do a review of it, regardless of the fact that it's, you know, it's going offline tomorrow. I kind of wanted to chat about it and about Shakespeare, because it will forever be timeless. And I find it interesting when there's a production like this where the play is fantastic. It's such a brilliant play. You know, I love the relationship that Coriolanus has with his mother, especially. I think that is something that I keep thinking about. I keep thinking about how it's his mum that convinces him finally of this is, you know, we're not pleading with you anymore, we don't want to please you, nothing like that, but this is what you need to do, this is what you need to understand that empathy and compassion can lead you to making better choices. The thing that really got me was how they executed the play. It had potential to be really amazing, but for me it just felt like something was missed, and I do think it was largely to do with the direction and the way they used the space. Let me know what you thought of it if you did manage to catch it, because I'd love to have a discussion with anyone who did see it. And there are many productions, Shakespeare productions out there that you can check out. I know that the Shakespeare's Globe are they've got lots and lots of productions of theirs on their YouTube channel. I've watched a couple of those already. Do give them a watch, because they're absolutely brilliant. I have a huge love for that theatre. For anyone that knows me really well, you'll know exactly why. But yeah, go check them out, and thank you so much for watching. I'm trying to sort of branch out my YouTube channel and content and trying out a few new things, so this is a huge thing for me and I'm very passionate about it. And a huge thank you to everyone who has suggested shows to me as well. Like, you're amazing, you're absolutely amazing. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Mwah! Take care, and I'll see you very soon. Peace out.